Well, we're going to be putting ourselves under the spotlight today. Really excited that the Alliance is finally building a people community, something that we both can relate to in our day-to-day.
Question number 1. What is the funniest reason someone ever called out of work?
This one sticks in my mind. Someone called in sick because they got deodorant in the eye.
Nice.
What's one of the worst interviewing experiences you've had?
There's a few. One of them was a bot. Turns out it wasn't a human. They were just AI-generated voice, and it was really weird to try to understand if they were humans or not. And that was very recently.
How did you figure it out?
I mean, just straight away answers, no time to think about the answers, really technical answers with like no pause for just like think. So it just really felt too perfect to be human. Also, no video, no picture, LinkedIn profile non-existent. So, yeah, weird one.
Talk to me about how we tackle the remote versus hybrid in-person nature.
I think it's all about flexibility, right? Understanding what people want and have good communication practices. We use Slack for everything and Asana for project management. So as long as you've got your comms rules, meeting rules, just in general, like a way to interact with each other, then you can be totally remote. And if then there's any worry in terms of performance or any worries in terms of people feeling a little bit like too siloed, then we can always have team workshop days or socials or making sure that the manager has those check-ins and those one-to-ones and there is a connection between team members. So just knowing your people and keeping an eye out on things is important when you have a remote first kind of workforce, I think. What do you think?
It's a really interesting challenge. When the Alliance started, super small team, everyone in the same office, you kind of understood every conversation that was taking place. There was no need for a feedback loop because you were listening and hearing and seeing everything. Obviously, that's not scalable. What I always try and do at the Alliance now is make sure that when we are bringing people in person, and I think that there is a place for in-person environment, especially at this like super junior graduate first job phase, that we're just really purposeful about like why we're doing that, to make sure that people kind of understand the reasoning. They still have that flexibility with the hybrid nature, but they get a ton of benefit from being in that in-person setting.
Next to each other for sure.
Yeah.
And you just need to also make sure that part of the onboarding is the culture understanding and environment understanding. Like, if it's a remote onboarding, how do you make sure that they know what environment they're going to join? Is it codifying the way you onboard them? Are there intro chats scheduled in? So it's just really important to like take into consideration that they're not going to be sitting next to someone, but they're going to be alone in their house most likely. So cool. Are there any tried and tested frameworks you swear by?
When it comes to change management, there's one that I swear by called the Ready, the Willing and Able framework. It's really good through any kind of organisational change or disruption that's happening. Everybody will have, the same information, communication, structure, but people will go through that transition at a different pace. So when you're looking at the Ready, Willing and Able framework, almost think of a school sports day, like who's still stuck at the start line, who is like super proactive but maybe running across someone else's lane. Some people are kind of midway down the track, and it's just a really nice analogy to share with managers when they're kind of identifying kind of where are my people at what point throughout this change, where are the gaps and where do I need to support, whether it's, resetting in terms of expectation, identifying skills gaps, and then having a super personalised approach so that everybody can make it through that transformation.
Nice, I like it. And you can even use it in conversation with the person, right? Just be like, we want to get you there. Nice. For me, I'll say the FFF, which is weird. Fear, I feel. So what's your fear? Like if you are dealing with a conflict, if you're dealing with a difficult situation, what's the fear there? Like, are you afraid of failing, not meeting a deadline, lacking credibility? Like, what's the problem there? What does it make you feel? Is it stress? Is it shame? Is it like shyness? Like, is that why you don't speak up or you don't feel like you can approach a topic? And then facts. Okay, let's bring it back. Like, is your fear actually there? Is this going to happen? Can we take a step back? Is just because you're feeling all of this, so you are overestimating this fear you have? So it's just a really mindful, I guess, framework to reset expectation with someone who's going through something difficult. And it works, and it's a little bit less stressful than using, goal setting conversations. It's just a little bit more human as an approach.
Do you have any people mantras that you swear by?
You can always be a better manager, so don't stop learning.
That's a good one. Not everybody should manage.
Also true. How do you ensure HR is not just in the room, but actively shaping decisions on a team structure, business pivots, or new market entries?
I think giving our people leaders space to share their view and contribute to that discussion is really important. And we have to set that expectation to our HR leaders, and also to the wider senior leadership team. And I think if we allow people to build that business partnering relationship with department and teams, build that credibility, people really welcome that view. And that's certainly what we've seen at the Alliance. How do you like to contribute in those types of discussions?
Yeah, I think I agree. It's just bringing the unique point of view that you have as what people dynamics do you know about, what personal extra problems that you might be aware should fall into the decision, what conflicts are there, what leaders needs more coaching or upskilling. So you just bring an extra layer of have we considered all of it, not just the talent, but actually the human aspect of it, and partnering with them and really knowing each department helps. And not all heads of departments will have time to be as granular in their people dynamics. So that's where the people team needs to help.
What's the most counterintuitive lesson you've learned about how people actually work together?
Hiring doesn't solve all problems. Actually, sometimes it makes the situation worse because you might shake a team that is already shaking. So you need to fix the environment first, understand your gaps, and then hire. A new hire actually adds a complexity you didn't have before. So unless you understand what's going on and what you need in a team, don't add to the fire. So I think that's the one big pushback that business partnering allows you to do. Just talk to the manager, talk to the department, really understand what they're trying to achieve, and then see if what you were looking to hire will cover that gap, or if you need to train your people. Will CVs even exist in 10 years?
No.
I agree. AI, AI screening, AI CVs, AI application, AI bots, the whole hiring and talent scope has changed completely. And a CV is just a piece of paper that really doesn't tell you much. Same for degrees, will have a very different impact on people's CV, and I already have that, and certification and old school certifications for sure.
How should teams, HR teams and talent acquisition teams kind of prepare themselves for this shift that's already happening?
Yeah. Well, use the tools that are already there. So make sure that your ATS is up to par with what you need to do. If you receive 300 CVs a day, do you have AI tool to help you at least screen or shortlist, give some sort of AI score attached to it so that you can really focus your time in reading the things that count and put your effort in treating people well and have a great candidate experience. And then think about different approaches. Is it a moment of going back to very quick phone calls, or are video first screen a good option? We use that internally and it's brilliant. You get to know a little bit more about someone. So just let's not box ourselves into legacy practices in talent, because the whole talent acquisition is just a complete different beast right now.
What's one people-related KPI more companies should be tracking?
Churn, post, progression, or promotions. So you should always look at however long your promotion cycles are or performance cycles are, 6 months and 12 months, how many of the people you promoted or progressed have churned, for what reason? Was it termination? Was it underperformance? Was it resignation? Because you want to make sure that you invest in the right people. And if your result is 0, which it is right now, it means that you really invest in the right people, and it's great, and it means that your progression is working and people are being developed right. Will AI replace parts of HR, and should we be worried?
We shouldn't be worried. I think the function should be really excited about the opportunity to move from the busy, admin-heavy side of HR, which I think quite rightly AI can replace, and enable the function to spend that time on where the true human interactions add a ton of value. The ability to free up time to be more strategic, to partner better with managers, to also help organisations through that transition. So we've seen a number of organisations actually go out with their stance on HR, and this is a huge business transformation piece. So HR will not only transform itself as a function for the better, in my view, there's also a real key role that they can play in helping the organisation go through that shift, which I think, again, shows or provides the opportunity for HR functions to be super visible to the rest of the business. For us, I think, we're very new in our journey, but our values of curiosity mean that quite naturally, I think we've already created an environment where actually going out, testing, discovering, implementing is something that we've always tried to promote. I can't wait till we get to the point where we've kind of gone through the adoption phase, and then we get to the, how do we make the right call on where we do and don't use AI? And how do we make sure that the time which is freed up, we're actually measuring that greater output and impact across the business? I think that's going to be really challenging to do.
Yeah.
But I'd love to revisit when we get to that point. Are you worried about AI?
No, very welcome into it. I mean, of course, we want to understand the data management worries and practices. There's, of course, some lawsuits going on about this, but the whole idea is, can we be more efficient? Can we dedicate our time to better things, more actual business partnering ideas? Yes, that's where our time should go, and we will be part of the transformation. As people leaders, we should be AI ambassadors to make sure that AI is integrated in the best way possible and not, random way, but codified. Let's do a gap analysis, actually give everyone the tools to be their best self and using these tools instead of feeling like they're stealing their job or anything like this, which I know can be one of the worries, but very keen to see this. But this might be my nerd side talking.
What's your take on the impact of AI to the HR function?
I think three main things. One, just HR or people function should make sure that we follow, data privacy regulation, where we're safe, that we use AI in a safe way. That will always be part of it. The second will be really being part of the transformation ourselves, be the ambassador internally for HR, for AI tools and how we use them, help with that gap analysis, with that training needs analysis, so that we can identify the right tool for each team and how we can implement this. And the third point, which is connected to this, is really understanding workforce planning and generational planning or headcount requests. How does AI play into this? Are we using all of our team members efficiently? Is there a case there to hire someone else? And we just hire more conscientiously and in an organic way instead of hyper-scaling for no reason. So I think those are the three main ones.
I think there's some really good points there. I think moving forward, when you're looking at organisational design, I think our org charts are just going to look so different in a couple of years. And I think that'll be really interesting to see, especially when you start to see teams adopt the use of AI agents and almost like managing a group of agents. I'm wondering what the impact will be and just how, what a true org chart will look like across different sectors. So, one to watch.
Worth mentioning the change of titles and scope of HR roles or CPO roles, right? They will go and cover business intelligence or AI or transformation. Almost that path they used to go into chief of staff. Now it's more like CPOs are expanding their scope and really being strategic and using their tools and leading this transformation. That's why there's a lot more ops focused knowledge and tools knowledge and data knowledge within the HR and people sphere, which is really exciting. People Alliance, what is it?
It's our new community designed for people within the people function. So whether you're junior in a people role, whether you're in talent acquisition, whether you're transforming organisation through business partnering, this really is a space for you to share, network, meet your peers and learn through shared experience.
Why did we decide to do it?
The Alliance is a great at forming super niche, functional specific communities. And when we looked across the breadth of communities that we didn't have anything for the people function. And that was a miss for us, because when you look across the function and the amount of transformation and change that it has been going through and will continue to go through, I think it's really important that we're learning as a group and people have the opportunity to meet and connect. There's a ton of tools out there, some vendor-led communities, but nothing really truly agnostic for people and content delivered by like true practitioners living and breathing the role. And I think, having that network available to people can really strengthen someone's professional development. So, and I guess equally as well, elevate that role of the people function, moving away from that kind of legacy HR admin definition that quite frankly isn't the case anymore. It can be quite a lonely place to be if you're in a very lean or you're a people team of one. So
you do need a network, yeah.
You do need that network 100%, especially when you're also thinking about the very people and emotional heavy side of that HR.
Yeah.
I think the ability to kind of talk that through with someone, take a step back, understand how another professional would approach a problem can be really useful as well.
Absolutely. Emotional resilience is a big one, especially when you are in these roles, and just having a friendly ear or peer to exchange notes can really make or break your day and even make you see situations slightly differently. And how can people be involved?
There's a ton of ways people can jump in. It's a really exciting time to get involved because we're at the building phase. So whether it's starting a local meetup or small network in a certain area, if it's like championing new dimension to the role, talking about best practice, sharing knowledge. There's opportunities to appear on our podcast, speak at our in-person events. We will be building our certification because our view is what's out there currently is extremely dated and doesn't really reflect the real life experiences that people leaders go through and also the skills that we want to promote in the function. So yeah, we're kind of open to suggestions, but we're truly community-led in that sense. So if you're living and breathing the role and want to get involved in any capacity, now's the time.
Nice. Well, I'm excited to see what's next then. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's so good.